how our energy centers interconnect to all life on a planet and higher self. This is a component part of this entire AI matrix and how we are connected up through this digital matrix, primarily with our Muladhara chakra, our root chakra, the color red, the survival chakra, the base, where we seemingly never have our energies elevated from that point. A planet has chakras or energy centers on its living planet body, just as our bodies do. This is how we are connected to our planetary being as well, all the other life on it. And even further, our own energy centers are connected to our higher self if and only if we are mostly clear of energy blocks in them. Namaste, namaskaram. Open the conduit to infinite intelligence, intelligent infinity, however you like. Energy centers are just as I like to call them. They both make energy, are energy, and store energy. Our body's vibratory rates are in sync with the planet's. This is part of the gift of our planetary being. She supports our life force, our soul, while it vibrates within a body on her planet. Through our interconnections, vibratory-wise, we have the ability to retrieve information from our higher selves, a download, if you like, from the planetary being and all the other species through our energy centers, if we so wish. Many long-lived species on our planet, like the trees, would have held our planet's living libraries, and these would have been more accessible to each of us in our ancient nature-based spiritual practices of going within, sitting in nature, or meditation. This is why it is so important to have your energy centers fully under your own control and maintenance. These libraries are still as stable to us if we practice the clearing and rebalancing needed to hear, feel the harmonic and imagery form of information our forest animals mother have to share with us. In this matrix, we have to work very hard to gain the understandings we instinctively all feel we lost access to. Our reduction abilities to connect to our collective and personal higher self information stream has been a result of the matrix. This is one of the main reasons for the Saturn Moon matrix co-opting our energy centers, as it would be a very effective way to sever this ordinarily natural connection. It's no wonder, frankly, that on some level, we are not insane. Or is insane actually being sane in an insane matrix world? If you are familiar with Akira Kurosawa and his movie Ran, there's a quote from this Kurosawa movie where it says something to that effect. In an insane world, or yes, in an insane world only, or the mad are truly sane, something to that effect. Akira Kurosawa, his movie Ran, based on a Shakespeare play, I forget which play. The Draco hate themselves. They lie to themselves about even having a soul. Macbeth, that's what it's based on. The Draco hate being wrong. They hate themselves. They lie to themselves about even having a soul. They were abused, so they abused. And the ones they abuse turn to abuse others. This is a cycle that has to stop somewhere. And it stops right now when you hit that subscribe button, become a follower, a person of interest in this odyssey that we're all on together, this journey that we share. We do not need to drop our anger towards them, drop it in a box to deal with later. Focus on your own self-work. Deal with your shadow. That is what is needed. If you get all angry and get vengeful and you're keeping tabs, and then you're just drawn right back into that whole cycle of vortex of just nonstop. So the way out of the matrix is within, going within, releasing, dealing with your own stuff. Man, it's truly a mind perspective flip shift when you start to think of the events in your life as projections of your own ego. I know that for a fact. I see it all the time with what life gives me. If my energy is a certain way, if I've got certain fantasies playing in my mind, certain grieving about something, or well, the matrix will program that and send it your way. We must first forgive ourselves to stop the cycle of abuse inside of us, to end it around us. It is imperative to starve what remains of the Loosh Farms egregores. And Loosh, it just is that anxiety, that lower density energy, that third density sort of just negative energy, dark energy, if you will, that feeds these egregores, and in turn it feeds those lower density entities, the archons and all that. So we all have to unlearn what we were taught in all these generations of maltreatment. It's the only chance we have to move forward as a species. The day will come that humanity and the Draco face each other and deal with the anger between our races, but not now. We need to focus on healing ourselves, this lifetime experiences for ourselves, forgiving ourselves in an overview. Why in the micro of this one lifetime of experience will eventually lead to the day when we can behold the macro of the bad choice we made at one time long in our past. Where yes, from an environment of wars in space on the planet so traumatized by the conditions that left us weak and unable to decide the wiser, harder path of doing for ourselves rather than the deceptive, easier path of the dark side. The Draco offered us a long ago. Now is the time for a new choice. So how is Saturn bound to our chakras beyond the religious dogma concepts in our cultural environment? Part of this answer is in the very shape of the mind control technology structure seen on Saturn and the moon being in the form of a hexagon. Know that the Draco artificial intelligence and their allies and humanity's co-opting can only mimic very closely the natural matrix in order to gain our consent to fool us, to fool ourselves. The hexagon's importance is in the natural life grid's matrix. I'd just like to say that, the Draco, but there's also a new player, the Mantids. And I have a feeling that they're a little more subtle, but still something to be, to watch out for and contend with. But really, once you, clear your chakras, your energy, just focus on good things. Unplug from that cycle of what your phone's telling you, what's on the lamestream news and all that stuff. Just kind of get out in nature, build a model or something. I don't know. The geometry of the star polygons and their progressions, starting from the 5-pointed star to the 6-pointed star and up, are all components of the flower of life. Our bodies, having one head, 2 arms, and 2 legs, easily fits within a 5-pointed star. There you go. See that there. There you go. That's a little bit. There you go. That would fit right within a 5-pointed star. Where was I? Our bodies, having one head, two arms, two legs, easily fits within a five-pointed star or hexagon. Think of the five-pointed star of the hexagon being a lower harmonic of the six-pointed star. The six-pointed star has long been a symbol of balance of masculine and feminine energies in our ancient cultures, long before it was inverted and used for malintent, just as the five-pointed star was. There are few inversions of the star polygon's sacred geometry. We can all think of being done in both satanic and political racial uses, the Merkaba of much New Age infamy that many channelers have told people to build about them in meditations is yet another very malevolent version of the same, as it was the soul cage for harvest of us by certain other extraterrestrial species I won't go into right now, as they're not related to the Saturn moon matrix, but it warranted mentioning as I am on the topic of star polygons. Suffice to say, Lisa Renee and Drunvalo Melchizedek, aka Jesus impersonator, can go away in this Merkaba at any time now. Well, I don't know about that last bit that I just read to you, that my esteemed viewer. That's a little bit, I'm not sure about that spiritual or that this person's take on that. As far as I'm concerned, Drunvalo Melchizedek, I don't know this Lisa Renee, but the Merkaba is a spiritual technology. It's our light vehicle. The component meaning of Merkaba, Mer is the light, the upward triangle, and then the downward triangle. Then Ka is the Egyptian word, I believe, for spirit, and Ba is the, I forget what Ba is, but I know Ka is spirit, and Ba is like the body, and the light body, I believe that's it, and the sacred geometrical shape that comprises the Merkaba, which is a light vehicle. So there's no coincidence that both Jesus and Satan are coming up as connected to these sacred geometric symbols. Both were impersonated by these extraterrestrial species repeatedly. Let's get some more information about how these geometric shapes are used in the natural grid life matrices to understand a bit more of how our planet and us was co-opted in believing in the matrix. Believing. We need to begin with the dodecahedral grid, the star polygon above the harmonic of the five-pointed star in the hexagon. The dodecahedron and the dodecahedral grid is the fifth all-encompassing part of the natural matrix grids. It contains all other four natural matrix grids within it that make up all of creation, the flower of life. As far as I understand, that's what I thought a Merkaba was, flower of life. The music of the spheres is the word or sound of our prime creator within us all. As each and every soul in creation is a fraction of creation itself, we are all God. It's the journey of top down to bottom up that creates a creator being out of all those parts of prime creation, that prime creation sent out of itself to be, learn, and do. Simpatico. Let me read that again. Let me give it a proper treatment. The music of the spheres is the word or sound of our prime creator within us all, as each and every soul in creation is a fraction of creation itself. We are all God. It's the journey of top down to bottom up that creates a creator being out of all those parts of prime creation, that prime creation sent out of itself to be, learn, and do. All right, I've been goofing around too much on this episode of the Umbanda New Earth, whatever it's called. But that last statement I read, if there's any takeaway of any value to this particular presentation, that would be it. I'll leave that statement paragraph in the video thumbnail, and I truly hope this video finds you well and that your Merkabas are activated as we journey into the fifth dimensional frequencies of New Earth. Namaste, namaskaram. All right, Martin Scorsese, can we cut? Cut.